The right and MAGA lost their collective minds. They're snowflakes melted down online in real time. You could just have left the room for 12 minutes. You could have gone and taken a 12-minute you know, just gotten the fuck out. I don't know. Why did all of the right have to lose their collective to such a degree? And let's talk a little bit about the Super Bowl. Now, as you all know, I'm a very football-oriented man. Quite sporty. I know a lot about sport ball and football and touchdowns and wide receivers and all the things. I can definitely name the teams and enjoy when the ball is kicked into the H thing to get that field goal. So sports, I know a lot about football, but I'm not one of the people who ever wants to shit on people for loving sports. I think people who love sports love entertainment, and this is one of their favorite forms of entertainment, and that's cool. I like video games. I mean, I like hockey. I like watching hockey. That's a sport. But you know, I like video games. You like football. That's cute. Everyone should just get along and love each other. Also, I love hip hop. And that might not be everyone's cup of tea, but for me, it's one of my favorite forms of music and one of my favorite forms of art. And it's quite wonderful at this moment in time when everything else is so bleak and horrifying and bad to see someone like Kendrick, whom I am a large fan of, you know, have this moment and see himself be elevated to the largest stage in the sports ball opportunity that there is in the good old US of A. It had a lot of interesting effects. You know, what happened right away was obviously we saw the backlash that came from the right. A lot of right-wingers got very mad. And I'll be totally honest with you, they are so fucking miserable. I mean, like, you have total and complete power. Honestly, right now, the right in America especially, you control the whole thing. You got the presidency, you got the House, you got the Senate, you got the judiciary, you got the Supreme Court, like you got the billionaires, you got the tech bros, you got everyone coalescing power around you. You won Monopoly, the game of U.S. Monopoly. You won, and you're all just sitting there on a Sunday instead of, like, you know, enjoying the company of your family or even enjoying the very game of football that you came to watch, and you're just spending the whole time tweeting, you know, the safest way that you can get away with trying to say the N-word over and over and over again. You could just see how profoundly sad these fucks are. Like, will you ever be happy? Like, and you know what's wild about this too is that I think this narrow victory that they just got with the last US election, they thought that this was somehow a complete cultural shift, as if the whole world was rejecting what they saw as wokeness. And then finally we are destroying the woke. After all these years, the world is waking up and they're sick of it just like we are. And all of them want to see, like, you know, the blue-haired liberal screaming and crying, and we all can all get together and laugh at them and say how the left can't meme. And like, no, the culture literally did not shift. What shifted was a small amount of electoral college votes and some you know, key races and all that kind of stuff. But in terms of what people are going to want to see or what artists are going to want to put forward and create and share with everybody, that's obviously not within your domain. I'm sorry, fascists, but like, historically, all y'all have always tried to suppress art or to destroy art, especially if it's subversive art or anything that was remotely creative that didn't fall within the propaganda line that you were trying to instill within your sense of hyper-capitalist nationalism. So anything that breaks from that is seen as potentially, you know, volatile and scary to them, which is why, like, so much of it is going to be centered around either trying to downplay, you know, their own or downplay the reaction to you know, the phenomenon that is GNX and Kendrick's ascension right now, or on some level they'll want to, you know, absorb or destroy it. That's just how fascist works, unfortunately. Long shot F, thank you very much for the prime, appreciate you. Kendrick Lamar wanted a GNX, not the one from the cover of his new album of the same name, one that could be gutted and turned into a, quote, clown car for Super Bowl halftime show. That's how Shelley Rogers, the show art director, tells it. Rogers has solved such big stage problems for everyone from Beyonce to Lady Gaga. She won an Emmy for her work on Rihanna's halftime show in 2023. A car wasn't a huge deal, but she still needed to find one. They couldn't borrow Lamar's own Buick Grand National because they'd kind of need to destroy it to pull out the visual trick. The car was not easy to find, especially since he dropped his album. We could just have used his, but I don't know if he would have liked what happened to it afterwards. Eric Eastland from All Access, the company responsible for fabricating the stage on Sunday's show, was the one who found what Lamar wanted. Eastland and his team located a GNX at a mom-and-pop car loft in Riverside, California. And after a thorough search and at least one near mishap, they went through so much work to build not only the stage, but the props, to be able to coordinate everything. You have to do it. If you don't know, Super Bowl shows, apparently you don't get paid to do them, but you get a budget of somewhere between like 10 or 11 million dollars. So you get to put on a spectacle of your choice, and then you get paid in the sense that your brand is going to be shown to what, like 80 million people globally, something like that. But it's just pretty unbelievable, the amount of work and coordination and you know, time that went into rigging this entire thing for just 12 minutes. Like, the entire performance is only 12 minutes long at the end of the day. And I obviously can't show it to you without having copyright strike me down from where I stand. But to anyone who hasn't already watched it, you can watch it for free, I think, right now on YouTube. So that'll be an easy way for you to see it. The entire thing was themed with none other than Samuel Jackson playing Uncle Sam, the symbol of Americana, as he presents the entire spectacle before the eyes of the world. And what a incredible juxtaposition that's done by this, because like so much of the symbolism that's done in this entire performance, and in having a host like Samuel Jackson playing Uncle Sam, basically presenting Kendrick, but also kind of trying to guide him as he was doing his songs. Like, he would do a couple songs or a couple tracks, and Samuel Jackson was consistently, in his character, was consistently trying to get him to like give the people what they want. All right, they want patriotism, they want the symbols of America, they want songs that are catchy, that they can dance to. Basically, be a performer, be an entertainer for them, and that's all that you are to the rest of the world. Whereas, are you going to actually do something beyond that? Are you going to do something that's subversive? Are you going to do a critique of the oppression that, say, you know, the very concept of the country of America has done historically to black people? Are you going to use this as a stage to talk about that, to present that, to show how much and how integral black people and black art and black artists and black workers have been to America and the American experience? I mean, black people built the goddamn White House. Are you going to talk about that? Don't do that. You're not supposed to do that. No. This is the Super Bowl. This is the halftime show. They just want you to do a nice song and dance, entertain the people, and then we can get back to the game. That's what's supposed to happen. And that was kind of the whole way that it was presented by Sam during it. I think
American game. My Gemini twin back powering up. No more handshakes and hugs. The energy only circulate through us. Everybody must be judged. But this time, God only favoring us. 20 years in, still got that pen dedicated to bare hard truth. And he can speak with a vision and tongue.
It was obviously incredible, and I have no idea how someone like Matt Walsh was watching this and then thought to himself, like, this is mumble rap. I can't understand a thing he's saying. I was like, no, this is not what mumble rap is, first off. And then secondly, this is just like next level eloquent. The fact that he performs this all live, song after song, and just like sensationally too. He doesn't miss a fucking word. And a lot of his lyrics and you know, to time them to the beats is so incredibly complex. I don't think people understand what Kendrick does in a lot of his music, especially when he's got songs in which he can be so playful, and he'll just bring in like actual sound effects, you know, like bop bop beep bop, and then go right into like, yes, the fabled double entendres and all that other stuff. And it's just like, it's so woven, but it feels flawless. When you see an artist performing at the highest levels, it feels flawless because that's how good they are. It seems almost easy, right? And like you can watch it in awe, but like, make no mistake, it's incredibly complex and difficult what he's doing. Kendrick's Super Bowl performance pulled off a double whammy. Lamar gave us Not Like Us, but also a much-needed dose of something else. This is the recreation of the American flag that was done for this one part. He did it. The world was waiting in bated breath to see if Kendrick Lamar, who has been embroiled in a month-long beef with rapper Drake, would perform Not Like Us during the Super Bowl halftime show. Why wouldn't he perform the 5-time Grammy award-winning blockbuster hit of his career on the country's biggest televised stage? Well, because the Drake-targeted banger essentially accused the Canadian rapper of being a pedophile. An attack so vicious that it led to Drake filing a defamation suit against Universal Music Group, the label that has licensing agreements with both Drake and Lamar last month. While some legal analysis doubted that Lamar would perform the contentious song, and his fans hoped that he would stay humble. He proved anything but by taunting audiences on the matter on Sunday night. Instead of verbally burning a Drake effigy for 12 minutes straight, Lamar decided to do what he does best. He used his stadium-sized platform to deliver a political message when America needs it the most. During Black History Month, with Donald Trump of all people in the audience, Lamar called out the streak of anti-blackness that pervades the country's past and present. All while, yes, viewers were on the edge of their seats waiting to hear the infamous lyric, certified lover boy, certified pedophile. Which, by the way, when he says that part, he didn't need to say the word pedophile. You obviously, I'm sure the censors were like, oh, you can't say that live on national television. No, you have to censor some of the lyrics. Doesn't matter when it comes to this song. Like, the audience will do the rest of the work, even though he's like legally allowed to say A minor, because, you know, the implication is within the lyrics themselves. He wouldn't even have to say that part. Like, you don't have to. you can just let the audience sing the rest of it, because everyone loves that track so much and everyone knows it that, you know, there's no hope there. With actor Samuel L. Jackson acting as Uncle Sam, Lamar performed some of the hits from his most recent album, GNX, Squabble Up, alongside background dancers dressed in red, white, and blue. Between song transitions, he rattled off phrases like, revolution is about to be televised, and protested racism through defiance, continuing on as Jackson's Uncle Sam interpreted his In Jackson character's words, to ghetto display. Instead of backing down, Lamar had his background dancers get a color-coordinated formation that created an American flag as he launched into hits like Humble and DNA. But Lamar was well aware of what he really wanted to see. The elephant in the room was that he spoke directly with a call out to Drake during the first tease of Not Like Us. I want to perform their favorite song, but you know, they love to sue. He then pivoted to introducing his frequent collaborators to perform a more melodic song, All the Stars. It wasn't until Uncle Sam's next retort, that's what America wants. Nice, calm, that Lamar, characteristically defiant, turned it all the way up. Because you know what America actually wants? Feet on necks. A takedown so absolute it's awe-inspiring. Pure hateration and holleration in his dancery. America wanted rap, hip-hop, and the all grade A beef. Kendrick asserted his political message he's trying to imbue in his performance is bigger than Drake's hurt feelings, stating, 40 acres and a mule, this is bigger than the music. Before launching into, at long last, his actual performance of Not Like Us. At the end of the day, Lamar said Drake's name and the famous A minor line, but refrained from saying the word pedophile at the most watched event on TV. Again, he didn't need to. Like, all he had to do was set it up and the audience said the rest. That was an entire fucking stadium. Not only a stadium, I would argue tens of millions of people at home saying it at the exact same time. So yeah. I know what you may be thinking. If this is such a quote political performance, why didn't Kendrick perform his most political song? All right, the song that soundtracked the Black Lives Matter protests and has become synonymous with the contemporary pro-black movement, in front of Trump at a time when the president and his government of cronies have turned all things diversity, equity, and race into the ultimate boogeyman. Lamar is canny. He knows that it's a balancing act to be able to chide America's anti-blackness and respectability politics, and what's needed on the opposite end of the scale is a gold bar of drama. That's what he accomplished with his performance, which was a full attention-drawing slight at Drake. He brought out the tennis legend Serena Williams, Drake's rumored ex, who inspired a different beef between Drake and rapper Common, to sea-walk during the big song, and he wore a diamond lowercase a chain to most likely represent the lyric A minor, accompanied by some flag bearers running across the field with flags depicting the same lowercase a being held by children. As if that wasn't enough, some fans believe that the other tunes chosen for Lamar's set list were meant to sneak Drake disses. Lamar gave us the medicine with the cake, expected us to eat it all, and America housed it, because what he knows is that American culture is black culture, and black culture is hip-hop culture, and beef is not being afraid of paper tigers, it's laying all things out on the playing field. I'll agree a lot with, well, first off, I don't think he, like, obviously needs to do anything that anyone else says ever, which is always weird when people are like, what's he going to do? Is he going to do the thing he's supposed to do, which is obviously to give credit to the great country that made him, that birthed him? Is he going to basically say that I love America? Because that's what the moment calls for, especially with Donald Trump in the audience. He needs to be respectable. This is what the moment calls for. And it's like, nah, he should do whatever the fuck he wants. But yeah, it is a really delicate balancing act, because yeah, on one end, is everyone getting completely distracted by the Drake brief and the fact that Drake has been called out so effectively, and this is probably, you know, next to Shinzo Abe, the biggest political assassination of all time. So there's that aspect that is obviously going to, you know, dominate a lot of the discourse around this. But on the other end of things, are you able to then really, and I would say what was most effective about this entire performance is to really emphasize the message being that black people also built America. The fact that so much of American history is built upon the, you know, genocide of indigenous people, the colonization of indigenous people, and then, you know, the horrifying and illegal transportation of human beings like a commodity or a product over to America to work for years and years as slaves. That as much oppression that black people have faced throughout their history, at the same time, they are responsible for so much of the core that is the American experience. And that has to be recognized, because at the end of the day, it's just like, it's not enough to do land acknowledgements. It's not enough to do shout outs or to say, oh yes, I believe this was a dancing style popularized by the black community at one time, or to not acknowledge that, you know, the majority of what is considered cool modern slang, especially done by white folk, is all AAVE, right? It's all just consistent absorbing aspects of black culture, and then you know, commodifying it and sanitizing it and then re-releasing it for you know, the consumption of the capitalist you know, white consumer class is effectively what's consistently happening. And to get to this level, to be at the level where you're able to perform at the Super Bowl, that just comes along with it. You can't become one of the world's best-selling artists if you are on some level not selling to everybody, right? So there is going to be a large white audience, you know, myself included, sitting here talking about this, who are going to obviously also love Kendrick's music and love Kendrick's message and love Kendrick's performance. But that's really important to actually have, in my opinion anyway, pulled off in this entire thing, because like that unfortunately sometimes gets lost in the discourse when it comes to, you know, him beefing with Drake. That's all this is just a beef. This is just two grown men writing poetry to each other, which is essentially what a beef is. You know, a music beef, if it's going to be in the form of song, is just two grown men writing poetry, angry poems about each other, which, you know, on the surface does sound pretty fucking adorable. But the right and MAGA lost their collective minds. They're fucking snowflakes, melted down online in real time. You could just have left the room for 12 minutes. You could have gone and taken a 12-minute shit, you know, just gotten the fuck out. I don't know. Why did all of the right have to lose their collective shit to such a degree? Like, every one of them. It's like, aren't you at home on a Sunday with your family enjoying sports ball? Isn't that the whole thing? It's like, oh, get away from me, beloved kids and wife. Fuck off. Need to let the world know. DEI with the hard I. Yeah, that's what this is. Disgusting. I can't believe it. And you can see that Matt, like, he didn't stop. Bizarre decision by the NFL to have some guy come out and lethargically mumble a bunch of songs that 90% of the NFL audience has never heard. Isn't GNX like one of, if not the like top streamed albums of last year? Like, and it's totally fine if it's A, not your thing, or B, it's just not music you're aware of. Like, you know, like we all grow old. What is considered new and exciting, especially by younger generations, maybe something that you yourself are not into. It's totally fine to be like, I don't really understand this music. What is with this, and what's the 808 and all that? Fine, that's totally fine. It's another thing to just shit on it by virtue of it being something that deeply offends you or upsets you, because bold decision to hire a halftime performer who doesn't actually perform. He then had to retweet Jack Posobiec and Wokeness saying DEI halftime show, and then once again had to jump back on crazy idea, a halftime show where a band plays music. Benny Johnson, make halftime shows great again. My God. Charlie Kirk, surprisingly, for like a white supremacist and like an extremist like him, not like the wildest of takes. This one just seems fair. I feel this one's honest, you know? Like, this is, yeah, fair enough. I mean, maybe all you really had to say, to be totally honest with you, you know, if I was watching the fucking Country Music Awards, I would be sitting there being like, this music is not my style. It's just not what I'm into. I do not understand it, but y'all seem very happy. You're all just singing songs about pickup trucks and swaying left and right and smashing beer bottles on each other's groins. That's your scene, not mine, you know? And then just leave it there. That seems like a really, really fair way to deal with it. But then, and wokeness. Does anyone actually like this crap? Some people are saying yes. How? This one's my favorite because, like, you know, at the end of the day, no matter how hate-filled you or your audience is on some degree, it's just like, there's people who are just not going to be able to deny it. Like, I mean, I get it. I'm supposed to hate it because he's black, right? That's why I'm supposed to hate it. The song's kind of a bop. I don't know. Why am I not allowed to at least enjoy this? Can I not be racist and still enjoy it, Mr. N Wokeness, please? How? MAGA melts down over Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime performance. It was a night of pearl-clutching for many prominent conservatives Sunday night as they objected to yet another hip-hop performance at a major sporting event. This time, it was Kendrick Lamar, who just weeks after winning big at 2025 Grammys cemented his victory lap by performing a triumphant halftime show at the Super Bowl, anchored by his infamous diss track lampooning fellow rapper Drake. Lamar even seemingly predicted the backlash with the inclusion of a Serbic actor, Samuel L. Jackson, who introduced the rapper to the crowd and later exclaimed, "Too loud, too reckless, too ghetto. Mr. Lamar, do you really know how to play the game?" Many right-wing politicians and pundits were quick to let their... This is, by the way, one of the best parts is that, like, he's already predicting these kind of reactions in that, like, there's this thing where it's like you are allowed, if you are at the higher levels, you know, you happen to be a very talented athlete or a very talented performer or whatever you've accomplished in your life to get at that degree, and you probably had to struggle a lot harder if you happen to be part of a group that is racialized, right? But to get to that point, you're allowed to be subversive TM. You're allowed to be controversial within the guidelines that we allow you to be, being white America, right? White America is going to be completely fine with you doing whatever you call this genre of music, this hip-hop something. You can go do that, but we don't want you to shit on the American dream or to bring up things that make us feel icky or uncomfortable, like racism and slavery and Jim Crow. We don't want to hear about that, all right? We want to be entertained, so dance for us. This is what we want. And then in that respect, that's what the character of Uncle Sam was in the performance, to consistently be like, all right, well, just come on. This is what the people want. We got to give them what they want, and then don't get too political, all right? Don't get a little too black. You can't be too black, all right? This has to be something that white America can simply enjoy and not feel as controversial. Many right-wing politicians and pundits were quick to let their disappointment be known as part of a collective MAGA hissy fit over Lamar's performance. Most of the criticism seemed to be of the critic's inability to understand his lyrics. Conservative commentator Matt Walsh described the performance as easily the worst halftime show he's ever seen. Halftime show is trash. Nobody can even understand what he's saying, he added. And the vast majority of football fans, you haven't even heard of most of these songs. If I don't know what it is, no one must know what it is. It doesn't make sense to me, therefore everyone must be super, super uncomfortable. Unemployed pedophile Matt Gaetz. The halftime show you just watched is clearly the regime's response to Trump's historic gains with black men. A lot of pedophiles had a lot of problems with the set, I might add. You know, Ted Nugent amongst them. There's a lot of people who have, you know, a long history of their own horrifying, you know, pedophilia that has been pretty exposed at this point, who are getting really mad at a song, you know, basically centering around calling out a pedophile. So, no surprise there. The halftime show you just watched is clearly the regime's response here. So that another former representative, George Santos, was more direct. The Super Bowl halftime show was absolute trash. Thanks, George Santos, fucking human clown. President Donald Trump didn't appear too interested in the performance either. CNN's Brian Seltzer reported that the president left his box at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans 2 minutes before Lamar's show ended. Comedian podcast host Theo Vaughn, who was at Trump's inauguration and did interviews with the president, said the halftime show was boring. Theo, what happened? I thought Theo Vaughn was changing. I thought I was crossing out of the hate and moving towards the awesome, but it appears not. It appears he's just shitty. He's just had some pretty good guests recently. I thought they were helping him, you know? He just sucks. He never changed. God damn it. And we had hopes for Theo. Ben Shapiro, who describes himself on the X profile as America's #1 X rapper, said Lamar had a beautiful voice and a beautiful accent. The only problem is I can't understand a word you're saying. Did you know, this is going to be a wild thing to all of the Republicans who say they can't understand him. There are lyrics to the songs that you could look up instantaneously on the internet. There's also subtitles that you could turn on that would show you the lyrics to the songs, in case that was too tricky for you. Michael Knowles, another conservative commentator, tried to offer a more lukewarm take. This halftime show is gibberish, but at least it appears to be patriotic. That's the funny part, is this. I mean, all you gotta do is have an American flag or someone dressed up like Uncle Sam or red, white, and blue for them to sit there and be like, I think this is this is patriotism, right? Kinda. I mean, Matt Binder pointed out that there was a whole bunch of that. Conservatives saying that was a very patriotic show. We went from kneeling during the national anthem to a halftime show showcasing USA flag colors. We're so back. See? All you needed to do was see the flag. Jangle. Yeah, right there. You just jingle the keys. A few years ago, they were endorsing burning the USA flag. But now Samuel L. Jackson is Uncle Sam at the Super Bowl. Hollywood is desperately trying to get America to pay attention to them. We are so back. Finally, NFL joins in celebrating the U.S. flag instead of disrespecting during halftime. Pardon me if you said something offensive, but the flag display by the performers was amazing. I didn't pay attention to the lyrics. I mean, what a weird thing to flex. I'm stupid. Like, oh yeah, no, I just like noise. Yeah, I like sounds. I just like to hear noise and sounds and colors. I like colors, and I like to see them, and that's all I care about. I have no idea what it's about. I have no idea what he's singing about. Does not matter to me, you know? Like, cool flex. Finally, a non-woke satanic halftime show. I mean, officially, it is non-woke and not satanic. So there you go. Kendrick Lamar is showing off the American flag. I love this. So yeah, I mean, I guess if you want to be subversive and have a message, but not get called out too hard by elements of the right, you have but to don an American flag, and that's all it takes. Colorado Representative and MAGA firebrand Lauren Boebert also seemed to struggle with understanding the performance, asking her followers if she was the only one needing subtitles for this. Come on, Lauren Boebert. I cannot for the life of me believe that you did not listen to some fucking huge famous ass tracks in the 90s. Come on. Are you really trying to do this? You don't know who Ludacris is? Are we going to do this? You don't know who Nelly is? Like, come on. I bet she knows who 3 6 Mafia is. There's no way. It's like, I don't know what this genre of music is. I can't understand a word that they're saying. Right-wing commentators Eric Doherty and Benny Johnson took their criticism to the extreme, describing it as black nationalist and calling Lamar a mumbling pagan satanic cultist. Conservative offered their own halftime performance ideas too. Johnson said the halftime show should have been The Village People, with President Trump doing the Trump Dance Center Stage. That's the hand jobs one. Or this is what a real halftime show looks like. Ben Stiller said Lamar's performance was the best halftime show ever. Cool. Tennis player Coco Gauff said the show was well thought out and called herself a Kendrick fan forever. Doechii congratulated Lamar and guest performer SZA, so proud of y'all, so inspired. Her album also was just fucking incredible. I would highly recommend it. Lamar performed a medley of greatest hits, including Humble and All the Stars. The rapper brought out singer SZA performed their collab Luther, beautiful song. He also performed the long-anticipated rendition of Not Like Us, targeting rival Drake. I can play a couple seconds of that before I get roasted.
Mustard on a beat, bro. Deep boat in rap. He a freak though. Man down, call like Ember Lambs. Tell him breathe. Let them boys to the cross, they walk around like G's. What's up with these Draconio? Trying to see Compton. In the street can hate me. Bump them all in they mama. How many options you really got? I mean, it's too many options. Finna crash on his body. I'm John Stockton. What? Beat your and hide the Bible if God watching. Sometimes you gotta pop out and show.
By the way, that smile is just diabolical. Like, I can't get it on the freeze frame.
You gotta pop out and show. Certified boogeyman, I'm the one that up the skull. Walking down the whole time, I know he got some hoe. Paul, extort, bully, defro. Say Drake, I hear you.
I forget who said it online, but it's like, I am just so happy to be alive at a time when I'm seeing a whole new way of calling out pedophiles manifest itself in real time in 4K. Where you're just like, holy, like right at the camera. Oh, I love it so much.
You better not ever go to cell block 1. To any that talk torment and love, just make sure you hide your little sister from them. They tell me Chubb the only one to get your hand-me-downs. Party at the party playing with his nose now. Baka got a weird case, why I see around. Certified lover boy, certified.
All right, that's all I can do before I'm sure I get roasted. But yeah, you can watch it for free. I would highly recommend it. Really entertaining. I mean, even if you're not a big fan of Kendrick Lamar, yeah, and also just to see the endless meltdown. Matt Walsh, I think he's got like what 10 tweets about this. The only people looking forward to this are people who refer to the teams by their jersey colors. Lions Viking game features the most excruciating and effeminate halftime show. One of these years they'll line up a Super Bowl halftime that's geared towards the sort of people who watch football. Glad Coldplay is performing at the Super Bowl. This says, ouch. Coldplay, you just got astray. Sucks. Watching football is exhausting, so it's nice to take a nap during halftime. Halftime show is a little rough. This concludes my review of the halftime show. This halftime show is contributing so much to global warming, blah, blah, blah. This is officially the gayest Super Bowl halftime show of all time, but it's San Fran, so I guess we should expect it. I wonder if the NFL will ever try hiring a good band for the halftime show. Again, there's no happiness here. Y'all got it all. Matt Walsh. Wasn't your entire thing wanting to start some whole, like, we need to eradicate transgenderism from society? The MAGA cult controls the United States. You got every branch of government. You got Donald Trump trying to basically remove the very idea of there being more than two genders from, like, every facet of the U.S. government and all the programs that require funding. I don't know if you all saw this. This one kind of got missed in the stories because Trump's doing so much horrible stuff all at once. But the very institution that is, in place to prevent child abuse and child endangerment and prevent, child pornography from being distributed in the United States, Trump threatened to cut their funding unless they remove protections and language related to LGBTQ plus people. And so, like, if you're thinking Nazi shit, that's pretty high up there for just vile Nazi shit, in that, like, we are going to risk more children being abused by pedophiles unless you allow more queer children to be abused by pedophiles. And they had to eventually break. Like, they had to eventually be like, okay, fine, we can't risk all of our funding getting cut. So as one, like, staffer put it, we had to throw trans kids, under the bus on this one, and just effectively not have direct protections for LGBTQ plus children, which is like so evil, especially when you're dealing with a group of kids who are much higher rates of physical and sexual abuse than their cis or straight counterparts. They experience much higher rates of abuse from family members, from parents, from friends, from colleagues, from classmates, and at a time now when obviously LGBTQ plus kids are effectively terrified, he decided, I'm going to now threaten to pull the funding of a program in place. That entire play makes Trump one of, probably the most pro-pedophile administration in U.S. history. Just by that act alone. And crickets from, Libs of TikTok, Matt Walsh, all of them. Because again, none of them were ever actually concerned with protecting children. They're fine allowing LGBTQ plus kids to be abused, to be physically and sexually abused. They're fine if pedophiles are going to get a whole bunch of wins under the Trump administration like they're getting. It is a very pro-pedophile Nazi death cult that is just effectively... But, like, even then he's not happy. All this shit. And Matt Walsh is still fucking miserable, sitting at home with his family, I assume, rather than enjoying, the dry turkey, no salt, boiled, and talking about how spicy it is and throwing plates at the wall and stuff. He had to spend time just talking about how upset he was at the fact that he can't understand a genre of music. That's, basically it. Oh, yeah, I wanted to talk about this. If you didn't see, during the Super Bowl, the Sports Bowl event, during the Kendrick Lamar halftime show, which I'm very proud to announce, I believe is the most viewed halftime show in Super Bowl history. And I believe in a matter of days, he's already achieved the online views that other Super Bowl performers, say like Usher, achieved in 11 months. So Kendrick effectively smashed all the records, and it was an unbelievable set. If you haven't watched it, go give yourself a little 12-minute break and enjoy some incredible music and performances and dancing and some fun stuff. But one hero, I think, was the MVP of not only the game, but perhaps Super Bowl history, for holding up both a Sudan and a Palestinian flag while dancing on one of the cars for a little while, and then effectively having to run off as he was chased by security. The cast member who displayed the Palestinian flag with the word Gaza in protest during Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl halftime show will not face charges. New Orleans police said Monday the banner combined the black stripes of the flags honored by the Sudanese and Palestinian people and also had the word Sudan on it. The cast member, one of dozens of dancers clad in identical black sweats, held it high while standing on the roof of the car and was the centerpiece of the hip-hop artist's performance, and then jumped off the stage and ran across the field before being tackled by several men in suits. he has now been interviewed.
Now, a producer turned protester has raised Palestinian and Sudanese flags in front of thousands during rapper Kendrick Lamar's halftime show at Monday's Super Bowl. Zulkarnain Nantambo says he was part of the show's production team. He says the gesture was meant to raise awareness about Israel's war in Gaza, as well as the civil war in Sudan. Nantambo was detained and questioned by security, but has since been released. Well, Zulkarnain Nantambo joins us live now from Miami, Florida. So your protest video holding up the Palestinian and Sudanese flags at the halftime are all over social media. Tell us a bit more about why you decided to do this.
Alhamdulillah. Well, I felt I didn't have a choice because I was selected to be a part of the halftime show, and when I saw what my position was, you know, it was a great stage, a large stage, and we know as a practicing Muslim, our Prophet Muhammad teaches us if you see a wrongdoing or you're aware of a wrongdoing, you must stop it with your hands. And if you can't stop it with your hands, stop it with your tongue. Speak out against it. And if you can't stop it with your tongue, try to stop it with your heart, meaning pray about it. And we know that's the weakest of faith. So I had an opportunity on a grand scale to bring awareness or speak out against a wrong of our Muslim brothers and sisters, because we know if one part of the body is hurting, all of the body is hurting. This ummah is one body. So I didn't want to face my creator and not with a sign of weak faith when I knew I had an opportunity to show I didn't have weak faith.
So let me ask you, do you have any cultural or family links to either Palestine or Sudan, or was this purely a gesture of humanity and support for those affected by these wars?
Humanitarian. Yeah, humanitarian. I'm a humanitarian and I'm a Muslim. So we're spiritually collected in Islam, and we're connected with empathy for humanity because we're all human beings.
That's such a beautiful answer to a question that's like, shouldn't that not have to be asked at all? It's just like, so do you have family in either of those countries, or do you just care because you care, as we're all kind of supposed to, because we're all on this rotating rock together, you know? I kind of feel that, yeah, I mean, you know, injustice towards one is injustice towards all kind of idea. So I think it's kind of a beautiful thing that someone would, again, do a brave act like this. In of itself, that should probably be enough. But yeah, of course, it's got to be asked.
God's creation, and they're oppressed, and we know God answers the prayers of the oppressed. They are suffering. They're treated with injustice, and it's on a wide scale, and nobody is really giving it the light that it should get, at least working toward a change. And I wanted to show the solidarity to those afflicted by this and their families and loved ones, that they're being remembered here in America. And they're being remembered here in America, not just by me, but by others. And it'll strengthen all of our faith. It was not about a countryman. It was more about spiritual.
Okay, let me jump in and ask you, I mean, do you think the protest or your protest is likely to damage your career? Are you worried you may find it difficult to get work again, given what happened?
I trust in God, brother. I wanted to pass that. I fear God more than I fear man. I fear loss of wealth. I fear loss of anything else. I fear losing the pleasure of Allah. And it was clear to me with the signs of the show that Kendrick had the American flag and human bodies. He had his PG Lane flags, and it was also many signs for me to show those flags to show how we're all connected.
Yes, because I think you mentioned in a previous interview that Kendrick Lamar was a source of influence for your protest at halftime. So what was it about Lamar that you drew inspiration from?
It wasn't a source of inspiration. I believe I was inspired by a creator, but he was confirmation. Seeing his show, when him talking about the revolution being televised, him having scenes where the American flag is made out of in a human formation, him having his own company's flags flying around. I saw those all as signs for me to incorporate the flag. Him having Samuel L. Jackson playing Uncle Sam, the whole theme being conscious, revolutionary, to make one's consciousness rise and show unification of people. And I thought that I could contribute to taking it to the next level.
Those are incredible answers. And again, it seems like, you know, I'm surprised actually, Al Jazeera. I guess it's because it's probably the most interesting angle for any news outlet to be like, is this directly associated in some way with Kendrick? Was this Kendrick's idea? Did he tell you to do this? When you say you were inspired by him, were you inspired and then instructed by him to do this? Was this like, you know, instead it's just like do you have family in Palestine or in Sudan? Is that why you're doing this? And it's like, I'm doing this because I'm a human being.
With this activism and protest and enlightenment to make other people aware of what's going on in other parts of the world. A lot of people didn't know what's going on in Gaza. A lot of people didn't know what's going on in Sudan, and they feel like they're not being represented properly. So I had the opportunity to represent them on a global scale, and I had to take that opportunity.
Yeah, and
just even to get the prayers of the people.
Okay,
it was worth it just to get the prayers of the Palestinian and the Sudanese.
Yeah, in response to your protest, the NFL says you'll now be banned for life from all NFL stadiums, from all events. What's your response to the ban? Would you still have done it if you'd known the risks?
I bet he's going to crush this answer.
The risk of a ban? I was afraid I was going to get sniped by a Secret Service bullet.
Yeah, no shit. Oh, I won't be allowed to enjoy the game of football anymore in the stadiums, you say. I mean, I'd say that's all things considered a win. Yeah. I love that. Like, genuinely, like, oh, well, I mean, yeah. I all things considered, I think I got off easy. I genuinely thought someone was going to try and shoot me. Wow, what a brave fucking hero.
I can watch a football program on the television if I choose to, sir. And I don't like large crowds anyway.
Okay, all right. Zulkarnain Nantumba, really good to get your thoughts and to tell us about what happened to you there at the halftime. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Thank you.
Wait, can I tell your people to follow us on FFF_Zulkarnain, please?
Fantastic.
Open book platform.
Fantastic. We'll do that. Thank you, Zulkarnain.
God bless.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest.
What a hero in what was already a spectacular spectacle of a show that already had a lot of political undertone of its own. To see someone do that and have the bravery to do that on that stage was stunning. You know what's also incredible is that, like, I saw the Fox News apparently did everything in their power to try and avoid showing it on live television, and some people were like, oh, it depends on the broadcast. Certain broadcast networks you could see it as in the background, especially when SZA's singing in one corner. You can clearly see him on top of the car, but incredible. And I'm also just like, I'm so thrilled that he's not facing criminal charges for that, because I saw the police, like the New Orleans police, saying that they hadn't decided what they were gonna charge him with yet. And I was like, well, then has he committed a crime? Like, why is it like, oh, we got to get creative with this one, just give us some time here? And it's like, if he's committed a crime, you'd know what the crime was, then you could charge him with that crime. I mean, I'd say it's within the purview of the NFL to ban him for life. That makes total sense. They did that, but I love the response where it's like, I could watch a game of football any day that I want on television. I wanted to try and make the world better, and that's more important to me than being invited back to watch the football match again. So I guess some sacrifices had to be made, but yeah, incredible. And now, if you want to see the weirdest and perhaps most bizarre interpretation of Not Like Us I think I've seen on the internet.
They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They're pedophiles. They rape kids. They're evil. They want to hurt you. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. That's what I've been saying. They not like us. We know you're evil, globalists. Telling the public, they not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They not like us.
I think this is so cute that, one of the theys thinks he's part of the club. So bad, too. Apparently this is a really popular song. They are not like us. Is it that? No, they not like us. They. So, I guess, the globalists, right? That's what he's singing about. Okay, yeah, no, I understand that. I can get behind this message. Yeah, powerful.
Klaus Schwab, not like us. King Charles, not like us. Barack Obama, they are not like us. And there's double meaning.
Oh, he slipped up there. They are not like, they not like us, are not like. They're They're apostrophe, I believe, that they're not like us. Yes, the globalists.
To that, they not like us. They don't like us, and they're not like us. They not like us. They not like us. They're not with us. They not like us.
I don't want to have to go too deep into this, but I'm going to just say that I don't believe he truly understood the message of the song or the sentence itself. But pretty funny. Thanks.
Don't let this happen to you. Go to serfscoffee.com to order the only end-to-end owned indigenous coffee company that delivers blood-free, conflict-free, and cruelty-free beans right to your door. 0% of people who drink serfscoffee.com have exploded spontaneously. By ordering right now, you get 10% off plus free shipping, and it's the best way to enjoy delicious coffee while not exploding. That's serfscoffee.com, serfscoffee.com.
Hey, if you'd like to unlock secret bonus episodes as well as uncensored content, go to patreon.com/theserfs. This show is produced by Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbard Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Political Poppy, Preston Kroll, Quiet 185, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demel, Travis McClinton, Trincel, Words Greenwood, with additional support coming from all of these amazing human beings right here.